Alright, I'm sure you all know by now that Redfall was a total bust. Just another AAA game that launched unpolished, incomplete, and soulless. However, instead of spending a 10-minute video just completely bashing the game, after all, I'm sure everything that needs to be said has been said about Redfall, I wanted to take a step back and discuss what I actually think happened behind the scenes that led to Arkane releasing Redfall in the first place. How did this studio go from making amazing games to releasing Redfall? What could have gone wrong to lead to yet another studio pumping out a AAA game that's releasing broken and just in a god-awful state? So to answer that question, we actually have to go back in time to 2017 when Prey originally launched. Now in today's modern year, 2023, most people have nothing but praise for the game Prey. But at the end of the day, back in 2017, this was not the case. So let's start with the first challenge. The 2017 version of Prey was named Prey, the same name of another video game that launched in 2006 called Prey. Please just stay with me for this part, it gets kind of confusing. So keep in mind, the 2017 version of Prey had nothing to do with the original game. It was not a reboot, it was not a sequel, nor was it a remake. It was a brand new IP. However, Bethesda Studios insisted that Arkane keep the name. I don't know why. A lot of people speculated it was due to marketing reasons to try to get more sales. I don't know the answer, but I do know that the game director of the 2017 version of Prey was super against keeping the name, and he actually said it was hurtful of management that they made this a non-negotiable compromise. The game had to share the name with the 2006 version of Prey. And this wasn't just confusing because the name of the 2017 version of Prey shared the same as the 2006 version of Prey. We also have to keep in mind the 2006 version of Prey had a sequel in the works that had fans excited. However, years before the 2017 version came out, the 2006 version of the game, that sequel was canceled. So fans were already comparing the 2017 version not only to the 2006 version, they were also wondering why the sequel for the 2006 version got canceled, and all of a sudden we're getting a game that has nothing to do with the franchise enter the market. I have no idea why Bethesda Studios made Arkane call it the same name. Honestly, I think it hurt the game, and it was just another weird corporate tactic. Obviously, it was not like Todd Howard that made this call. I imagine it was like shareholders or suits overstepping their bounds and kind of taking over the creative freedom of Arkane Studios, which was honestly a huge mistake in my opinion. In fact, the game director actually listed that keeping the name was one of the reasons he eventually left Arkane Studios. I'm sure it's not the only reason, but it was one of them. It could have been the final nail in the coffin. He could have seen the writing on the wall that the creative freedom was slowly going to be drained from Arkane Studios, which is a real shame. I mean, could you imagine having a conversation with the guy behind Prey, behind Dishonored, and you're fighting over the name of his game and making him name it something that he doesn't want to name it? It just seems like a worthless, fruitless argument, but it was non-negotiable for some whatever weird, bizarre reason. Now you may be thinking, okay, Prey didn't sell well, but that's just one game that didn't hit great sales. After all, why ditch your entire strengths and what you bring to the table over one flop? However, Prey was not the only game that didn't sell well. Dishonored 2 also met the same fate. In fact, sales were so bad for Dishonored 2, it was announced that Arkane was going to focus on new properties that would incorporate seamless multiplayer and environmental storytelling. And this was way back in 2018. And during this time, I think Arkane and Bethesda were considering switching from making more of the single player experience to focusing on games as a live service. If we go back to the time frame of 2017-2018, look at all the hype that was surrounding all these online only games. Think about it. Marvel's Avengers, The Division 2, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. It seemed more and more games were switching from that single player experience to the online multiplayer live service approach. Plus at that time, Destiny 2 was still hot on the market. In fact, Destiny 2 was the second highest grossing console game of 2017. With how poorly Prey and Dishonored 2 did in sales, it's no wonder that Bethesda wanted Arkane to switch gears and try their hand at a multiplayer only game. Which brings us to 2023 and the launch of RedFall, and why I feel like it feels like a soulless, directionless game. I think RedFall started as a live service game. I can't prove it. This is pure speculation, but I really think it started out as that. And somewhere along its development life, they saw all the flops in the live service market. Just look at it. All the hype behind Marvel's Avengers. We all saw how Marvel's Avengers turned out. That game's already dead. The Division 2 was short-lived. Hell, Bethesda's own live service game Fallout 76 launched in such an awful state that it took them years to get the game anywhere playable where fans were happy. I think the market shifted mid-development of RedFall, and they knew something had to change, and a call was made mid-development to make the game go from a live service game to more of a single player game with co-op baked in. And now people are asking what the hell happened. Well, I told you, Dishonored 2 did not sell. Prey did not sell. At the time of early development phases for their next game, live service games were the rage. Everyone wanted to make one, and unfortunately, if you jumped in a little bit too late, games take 5, 6, 7 years to make. Your live service game is being released now. And unfortunately, the market for those games has kind of died, and they're not the rage anymore. So either you shift mid-development, which is like what I think happened to RedFall, or you push through. And I think we're gonna see another one of these flops with Rocksteady's Suicide Squad. I think they started a live service game way back when they were popular. It takes forever to make, it's coming out, and the market has changed gears, and now you're releasing a live service game where there's really not a market there for it anymore, and all the hype around those games has died. Now, normally I would tell people to speak with their wallets, but honestly, I don't even know if that would help this situation anymore. Microsoft is no longer looking at sales. In my opinion, they're more focused on Game Pass subscriptions, and within Game Pass, they're looking at user interaction or user retention for the games in the subscription service. My recommendation would be do not play RedFall on Game Pass. Instead, go install Prey, go install Dishonored 1 or 2, go play those games. Show them that you're not subscribed to the service to play mediocre, soulless, lifeless looter shooters, and instead you would much prefer that Arkane turn to their strengths once again and make a sequel to Prey. Make a Dishonored 3. Show Microsoft that's where Game Pass members value their service. At least that is my opinion. So before I wrap this video up, I do want to point it out that this is not a damage control video. I'm not damage controlling for Microsoft over the release of RedFall. And to be quite frank, I think part of the blame falls on Microsoft. They should have never released RedFall. I'm sorry, I know you want to make some of your money back, but the fact that this is your first title launching at $70 and is this bad speaks volumes to the management handling the Xbox platform. It's to a point where it's so bad over there now, they're gonna have a June showcase. And while I'm excited to see what they're working on, any announcement that gets me excited, part of me is gonna be like, is it going to launch complete, or is it gonna launch like Halo Infinite? Is it gonna launch like Redfall? How many times are they gonna release these games that are just so unfinished? It is such a bad look for the platform. Stuff like this is the reason why the PlayStation is outselling the Xbox 6-1. There's absolutely no excuse for this. In fact, you see conversation online everywhere saying that if Starfield does not knock it out of the park, it's just another crappy year for the platform. I mean, there's no other way around it. They have got to get it together. And honestly, I really hope they do. But the more and more they're releasing games on their platform, it makes me wonder, what is the point of their existence in the gaming market? I'm not wishing them to die. I love my Xbox. I love Game Pass, but I play third-party games on Game Pass mainly. I'm sorry, but just the Xbox first-party studios, they have been so half-baked, and I think is a problem with their leadership. They've got to get it together. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for the video. If you made it this far and you have enjoyed it, please hit that like button, and if you do want to look at future content from me, please subscribe to the channel. It would actually really go a long way and help supporting me grow the channel and just make it bigger. And now I also want to hear what you all think. Are you guys playing Redfall? Are you enjoying it? Or do you find it lackluster? Let me know your impression of the game down below. Also, let me know what you think of just Microsoft's first-party studios output these last couple years down below as well. As for me, I got a ton of work to do, so I'm gonna get back to the grind, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.